Hi, welcome to the virtual orientation of your Jay Feather X213 by Jayco. We're going to start the orientation on the outside of your RV, and we're going to begin at the front. The first thing that we'll come to is your front storage compartment. In this case, it's only a one-sided compartment that houses your battery disconnect. This is very handy. You can disconnect the battery without having to take it off your trailer in order to store it. I would still recommend storing it indoors, but if you forget for long periods of time, as long as you can remember to make it a habit to turn the disconnect on and off every time you use your RV, it could save you some batteries. And also in this compartment, we have switching for your front lights. Right next to this front compartment, we'll make note of your side marker light. If you may notice, there's an extra piece in here. This is actually a housing for a camera body, as this unit is pre-wired for a side view cameras. If we drop down just below this compartment, you'll also notice one of your 4 stabilization jacks. They're located at the 4 corners of the RV and should be used to stabilize the trailer, never used to level the trailer. We'll continue along the front. The next thing we'll come to is your battery storage compartment. And directly in front of this, your dual 30-pound propane bottle storage and crossover regulator. So what your crossover regulator does is, you'll see this handle is currently pointing to this 30-pound bottle. In the event that this 30-pound bottle drops below a predetermined pressure, and that is determined by the regulator and not adjustable, once this drops below the predetermined amount of pressure, it will automatically cross over and start drawing propane from the other 30-pound bottle, regardless of where this handle is pointing. What that means is, on those cold nights, if you have your furnace on and you do not have to get out of your warm, comfy bed to switch bottles. If we move directly in front of your propane storage, we'll come to your electric tongue jack. On your electric tongue jack, we will find a port in order to use your manual crank. That way, if you're ever without power, or if the motor for whatever reason ceases to function, you can still crank the tongue up and down. And that can be found in your storage compartment over here. We'll have your switching to extend or retract your tongue jack, as well as some lighting to make it easier to load at night. As we continue along the outside, we'll come to your safety breakaway switch. This safety breakaway switch is connected by the loop end to your tow vehicle, and in the event that your tow vehicle is separated from your RV, this pin will be pulled and engage your trailer brakes. If you ever notice that your trailer brakes are engaged and you're just hooked up, it is possible that this pin gets pulled partially, but not free of the housing, but just enough to engage the brakes themselves. Always come back and make sure that pin is seated properly within the housing. And right next door, we have your solar ready connection site for solar panels, if you choose to do so. As we continue along, you'll see the would normally be the off-door side marker light with the camera body or housing that I had mentioned. And I say usually the off-door side, as we have a small mini door over here. Be perfect for kids in and out. However, it also gives you access to the remainder of the front storage compartment. So currently we're looking underneath the bunk that you can either access inside or from this side only. And in here you will find your 30 amp power cord that you connect to your campground power and then to your RV. And then we come to your manual crank for your tongue jack. This is the end you'd stick in that port that I showed you. And the manual crank for your stabilization jacks. Now, you will notice that a 30 amp plug end probably looks a little different than most plugs that you have on the outside of your home. Therefore, we will provide you with a 15 amp conversion block, which will convert the 30 amp plug-in to a 15 amp plug-in, so you can use it at your home. Now be aware there is a different power draw, so you will not be able to run most likely your AC in this scenario, but you could still run your refrigerator and lights and stuff. So as you can see, we have full access to inside the RV from here. But for now, we'll close that door and we'll continue along the outside. So right next to your off-door side door, we have your outdoor shower. And just above your outdoor shower, we have your black tank flush. You would connect your garden hose from either your home or from your campground to this port here. When you turn on the water, it will flush out your black tank for you. If we were to drop right below here, we'll make note of your output for your black and gray water tanks, as well as the valve handles for the gray and black water tanks. As we continue along, the next thing we'll come to is the outdoor portion of your refrigerator. And what this outdoor access does, other than provide access, it also allows for venting. It is important for the proper operation of your refrigerator that it is fully vented, and this remains free of obstruction at all times. Right next door, we'll come to see your main input for your cable or satellite TV for the RV. This is where you'd hook up the cable from either your satellite or from the campground cable connection. And now we'll come to your city water connection. This is where you would hook up basically the garden hose from either your house or campground. And what that would do is, once it is connected fully and the water is turned on at the tap, it would pressurize the water system inside the RV, allowing it to function like the water system of your home would function. And the last thing we'll come to on this side is your 30 amp plug-in, which is where you would put that power cord that I mentioned earlier. Continue along the outside, we'll notice your slide. As we come around to the big door side, we'll come to the outside access to your hot water tank. Couple things to note in here: drain plug and your pressure relief valve. If ever removing the drain plug from a pressurized system, make sure we relieve the pressure by opening the pressure relief valve and leaving it open, and then you can remove the drain plug. Also in here, you will find the reset for your hot water tank. So this RV also comes with this nice grill, which can be used on the outside of the RV with almost like a hitch-like system. You have a receiver here. This can be found under the bunk storage compartment and inserted into the receiver. Then the tabletop here and the grill are all found separately in the same location and can be placed together. In order to utilize this, we will connect it to the RV's propane system via Quick Connect. So we'll connect your Quick Connect and then you open the valve to the open position in line with the propane Quick Connect hose. Then you are able to light your grill and use it with your RV's onboard propane system. In order to light, turn it past the light position. It is automatic. Striker is built into the knob. Next thing we'll come to speak of would be your potable water inlet. If you're ever going to be camping where there is not a freshwater supply or basically a garden hose to connect from your house or the campground, you will want to fill your freshwater tank. So you take this cap off, fill it with your garden hose at home. Then when you're camping, if you wish to utilize the water of the tank, you would simply use the onboard water pump. Also underneath your awning here, we have your connection for your cable or satellite TV, as well as a 120 volt plug. And we also have some nice night lights in front of your stairs. The last thing I'll show you under your awning are the 2 speakers, which can be used in connection with the stereo inside the RV. Let's take a look inside and we'll see what we can find. So you can see it's a little bit dark in here. So we'll use the J command system here to turn on the lights. So we press the first button there, and generally they set that up to be the main kind of cabin lights, and that is what it is. The second button on this particular one works your awning LED lights. I will come back and talk in a little bit more detail at the end of the video. You are able to use this with your phone, or we have done a video that can show you how to pair your phone with the J command software. We'll go and do the rest of the RV, then we'll come back and talk about this J command system. Okay, so right above here we also have a secondary switching for the main lights of the RV, as well as your awning light. So you can either use these or these buttons here. So if we drop down just a little bit, we'll make note of the unit fire extinguisher. And right above that, we'll have the GFCI plug for the unit. You'll notice there is a red and black button. If ever you see that red light is on, that means that it has been tripped, either by someone pressing the red button or something has tripped it. In order to reset the plug, you press the top black button that says reset, and the light will disappear. Now anything on the load side of this GFCI should function properly again. Some plugs in your RV that may be on the load side of your GFCI would include anything near water on the counter, in the bathroom, or your outside receptacles. So we'll turn and take a look at the bunk area. It's pretty standard bunk area. We have 120 volt power as well as USB connectivity for charging purposes. Then we have your bottom bunk area that also has plugins for USB and your 120 volt power. And you can see we have your outside access via the door there. However, you are able to lift this bed and lift this bunk via this strap. And you'll see the strap on the floor here. We are able to use that to strap down any cargo that you don't want moving around. But we also have a strap up here, and you will see the strap right there that you can use to hold the bunk up. Let's step into the bathroom just to give you a look. Like the skylights in the bathroom, it really gives you a lot of extra light. So the next thing we're going to come to is your range top. Now it's important, before you attempt to light the range top, that you open it fully, exposing all the burners. In order to light, we turn the knob to the light position and then turn the igniter knob, and we do that for each top burner. And we follow the same protocol for the oven portion, with the exception is once we get it to the light position, we have to press and hold the knob in and turn the sparker at the same time. As important as it is to remember to open the glass top, it's equally as important to remember to close it once this surface is cooled, but make sure you close it before you attempt to move your RV. So you see, if we drop down here, that there is another USB connection point here. So this particular RV has all sorts of charging positions or charging locations for any cell phones that you might have. We'll talk about your load center or power center first. This load center or power center, you'll find your breakers much like you'd see in your home, and they operate much the same, and your fuses like you would see in your vehicle. And these, you will notice that there is a red light that lights up if one of these circuits is blown. And right below the power center we have your carbon monoxide and propane gas detector or alarm. There's a button on the front that you can press. It'll set off a series of loud beeps. The light will turn red, and then eventually it will get quiet and go back to a solid green, and that would indicate that your system is working properly. Now it is important that we test this every so often. I usually suggest every 6 months when you do the batteries in your smoke detector. So when you do the carbon monoxide detector, also do your smoke detector. Change the batteries, that way we can ensure that both systems are protecting you adequately. Here, we'll take a second to talk about your stereo for your RV. You'll notice that it has Bluetooth, USB and HDMI connectivity, and it also has 2 zones. Zone 1 would play on the speakers inside the RV, and Zone 2 will play on the speakers that I showed you previously on the outside under your awning. So as we continue into the RV, we'll notice your slide out, which is the bed in this unit. But importantly, what I want to show you is the inside access point for your hot water tank. Your hot water tank can be accessed by removing these 2 black Red Robertson screws, one here and one located here. Once removed, you'll see the back of the inside portion of the hot water tank, and the only thing we really need to concern ourselves with there are the 2 valves that you need to turn in order to switch it between winterization mode and basically summer mode. With the valve handles pointing in towards the water tank itself, that would put you in summer mode, or water flowing through the hot water tank. And with the valve handles pointing parallel or not in towards the hot water tank, you would be in winterization mode, thus bypassing your tank. So the next thing we'll talk about is your refrigerator. Your refrigerator operates on either gas or electricity. In the auto mode, it will automatically switch between gas and electric, choosing electric whenever it is present. If you were to press the button, it would then tell it to light on gas. Your fridge will attempt to light 3 times. If it is unsuccessful, it will stop, and then this light here will flash. If you see that, there's a good chance that you either just opened your bottles on the front of the RV or you forgot to open them. So that would be my first place to start looking. Turn off the refrigerator here, and then go towards your front of your RV, check to make sure the bottles are on. If they are, give it a minute and attempt to light again. Oftentimes the amount of pressure isn't sufficient in order to light the appliance. If we turn and take a look at your other banquette seating now, I have removed the cushions from that, and you will see there are 2 black Red Robertson screws that can be removed in order to get at your water pump. Now the water pump has the same type of valve that you would see on the back of that water tank, and that allows you to switch as you turn it between drawing from the fill tube or drawing from your freshwater tank. You would draw from your fill tube only when you want to winterize, and that would allow you to draw antifreeze into the system. Otherwise, you want it to be pointing towards the fill tube for the fresh water tank. That way you can utilize fresh water on board the RV. Now, we haven't talked about your furnace or thermostat. That would be because your thermostat is built into your J-Command system. So I'm going to go through a few basics of how to just navigate through the J-Command system. First though, I will point out that there is a quick button here for your water pump, and another quick button here for your heat or air conditioning. If you want to cycle through different screens, so you see right now I'm on the AC main. If I hit this top button, it takes me through the different screens that I have. So settings, tanks, water pump, motors, and then back to the temperature in the main. Now once here, we can use this select button to move through different areas and press the select. It'll allow you to select different functionalities within each page. So we're going to move. You can see we have your tank levels here. Go to a different page. We can choose again with the select. You can do water heater on gas or electric. We can do your water pump. We can go to the motors page, and this will allow you to move your slide in and out. Now again, to do that, then we have to come and find these two buttons here, and you'll see that the labeling for them changes depending on what screen you're on here. So right now they're labeled as extend and retract for your awning and slide controls. However, when you come to your AC main, they act as arrows up and down. So from this, what says AC main, you can have it off, you can have the fan on, you can have the furnace on, and you can cycle through different cool options. So that's the quick way to look at your J-Command system here. As long as you understand that this button brings you through different screens, and this button allows you to move through different selections on each screen, and these buttons here allowed you to change these settings. Once you use this button to get to a setting, you can use these to change the value of that setting. So that's the basic functionality, and there should be a secondary video that will be included to demonstrate pairing of the J-Command system with either your Android or Apple phone. Welcome to your how-to video on how to pair your phone with the J-Command software on board your RV and the proper application from the App Store or from the Google Play Store. So first, you download the J-Command app for the appropriate phone maker, either iPhone or Google. And I'll show you on my phone what the J-Command icon will look like. So we're going to go ahead and open that. And the very first thing it does is ask you to select your device. Well, this current one looks a lot like that bottom picture. So we're going to select that, and it now gives us instructions on how to complete it on the screen of our phone. The next thing it says to do is press this top select button until we get to the settings menu, which we are now on. It says pair device, so we click OK. And then if we look at our phone, we'll see we've got a little spinny circle, and now the phone is paired, and we can use our phone to select certain features inside the trailer, from temperature settings to moving your slide in and out and extending your awning. This way you can do all of that, especially the slides and your awning, outside of the trailer, where you can see exactly how much room you have and ensure that you do not damage. I hope you found this video informative. Thank you for your time. That does it for the video orientation of your new RV. I hope you found it informative and useful. If we missed something that you're hoping that we'd focus on a little bit more, give us a call and we'll do our best to make sure you're fully up to speed and have all the information you need to enjoy your RV. Thank you.